Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Care TV with me, Amrit. In the previous episode, we had Nutritional Medicinal Practitioner Dinah Doong speak about what heavy metal poisoning is, how it is a silent epidemic and it is slowly killing everybody around us and causing very unwanted and unheard of symptoms in everybody. So in today's episode, Dinah is going to talk about how do we reverse it or how do we remove it from our cells. Dinah is going to give a two-part process and she's going to talk about the specifics as to what she does. So we really hope that you get some valuable information out of it and that you do enjoy our episode. Since it's so deeply ingrained in our system, since it's so deeply within our cells, as you say, how does one kind of remove it from their system, or how do we live with it even?
Basically, removing heavy metal is not a straightforward matter. It goes through two phases. One is chelation, that is, we chelate it from the blood system, and if the person doesn't have any rise in their tumor markers, we go into the second phase. When the heavy metal scores comes down, we go into the second phase, which is called the conjugation, or P450. Conjugation does is you open up from the cellular level and you draw out the heavy metal. That would be the last phase.
Could you give us an example of, say, a client who came with heavy metal poisoning, their journey with you, and sort of what happened afterwards, and how much time it took to kind of, remove it from their system?
Yeah, basically, if you look at, say, just because I have a lot of mercury cases, so what happens is I will check with them, and then what causes, it could be what causes their tumor growth, or they may have an autoimmune disorder, they may have psoriasis, or they may have multiple sclerosis. These are all the common problems that they will come. And then sometimes when I dwell further into their medical history, you find that, oh yes, I do have amalgam fillings, and how many? Then they will tell you 7, 10, 13. And when you do a mercury check on them, you will notice that the mercury scores are very high, highly elevated. Sometimes it could be hundreds, 200s. And that causes their problems. And mercury not just comes from tooth fillings. It can also come from big fishes that has been in the sea for a long time. And these big fishes, those fishes that are taken from near those industrial waste where they let go onto the sea. So these are the fishes that have high mercury. And in Japan, they actually ban the consumption of a certain size of a fish, because fish has been known to have high mercury, to big fishes in particular.
Okay, so the last question here is, what steps can we take to prevent the heavy metal poisoning from affecting our system if it's already in? And if we don't have it, what can we do to prevent it?
Yeah, if let's say for instance they need a tooth filling, just go for, besides, just tell the dentist that you don't want any silver fillings or amalgam fillings, and ask for things like composite. Although composite is a much softer materials, but it's much safer, because in the long run, the mercury will have another effect on the body. Yeah, and the other thing which I just mentioned earlier, the fishes, the big fishes. So stop having big fishes, just concentrate on small fishes, less toxic, And of course, to prevent it is, because in order for another person to know whether you have any heavy metals is to best do a test to see whether you have any heavy metal issues. A regular blood test would be able to do. Some of the labs does provide, it's a technical test, or they can also do hair samples.
Thank you so much for your time, Dinah, and all the information that you provided. For all the viewers out there, heavy metal poisoning is a very serious and grave issue, and that there are steps as outlined by Dinah in this episode to prevent yourself from getting it, or even to reverse it if you have it. So do get your blood checked, do change your lifestyle and diet, because your health really does depend on it. This is me, Amrit from Care TV. We hope you enjoyed it and you learned a valuable lesson. Thank you very much. While you may feel that your poor posture is to blame for your aches and pains, research suggests that stress is the main factor in most cases of back pain. However, many people find that their pain flares up when they adopt certain postures for long periods.